Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Gary Michaels Clothier's 42nd anniversary sale is happening now. Our entire new fall inventory of suits, sport coats, sweaters, slacks, outerwear, footwear, all now marked up to 42% off. Don't miss your opportunity to save big on brands like Marcello, Bugatti, Jack Victor, Heritage Gold, Alberto, and Zanella. It's Gary Michaels' 42nd anniversary sale going on now through October 18th. Gary Michaels Clothier's 56th and Pine Lake, right here in Lincoln.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, slight chance of showers, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny skies and be breezy. The high around 67. Tonight, a chance of showers. The low around 54. And tomorrow, a continued chance of scattered showers. Otherwise, cloudy skies with the high around 67. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Ostrider. Watch out! Nafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, welcome to this marvelous Monday morning. It is beautiful down here at 1040 O Street. The sun is shining, a slight little breeze. The high today, Nick, is only going to be about 67 degrees.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm ready for it, man. I was going to try to watch the Steelers game outside on my deck, and I didn't last out there longer than the first commercial break. I said I'm going back inside. It was a little too warm out there, man.
We both got hoodies on today, so it's hoodie weather. Here we are.
You're still rocking the shorts, though, aren't you?
I absolutely am.
Absolutely. Folks, it is a crazy, you talking about just a whirlwind of college football, ups and downs, shockers, craziness. Google me, look me up. It's just been nuts what's going on. There's chaos in Tallahassee. There's relief in Texas, the Red River Shootout. There is shock in UCLA. And a lot of shock at Michigan State right now as well. It's just all over the place. You got Michigan flying back to Ann Arbor Saturday night with their tail between their legs. 2 running backs down. USC went down to their third string running back. A guy wasn't even expected to play, runs for $160 or more as far as that goes. Nick, Nebraska, a game that for the past number of years most likely would have found a way to lose rather than find a way to win. It has just been all over the place, man. Your Cubs, Nick, a moment of silence.
That moment's long enough now. Thank you. It happened. It was a good baseball weekend too. But no, football definitely takes the cake here. Is there something to talk about today?
I don't know, man.
Are people paying attention and keeping a close eye on what's happening at One Stadium Drive?
What's going on?
I don't know. There's going to be a lot of people tuning into that press conference. So we get to talk to Rule today at 11:30.
Yeah,
Let's just talk about the elephant.
A highly anticipated press conference, as you all know, unless you're under a rock or maybe just were traveling and didn't know. Coach Penn State relieved Coach James Franklin of his duties on yesterday. I'm sure all of our phones, Nick, were going nuts. Luckily, I was in the 9 o'clock service when I got out.
Well, there you go.
It was just boop, 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 boop. And you know what, Nick? Were you surprised that it happened as quickly as it did?
I wasn't surprised that they fired him. I wasn't surprised that they moved on from him. I was more surprised just on how quick the downfall happened. We're talking about this is a Penn State team that 3 weeks ago was in the top 5, and now they're without a head coach. It's crazy how quick things can happen. The bigger picture wise, this is a program that was in the college football playoff semifinals. They were one step away from playing in the biggest game that you can possibly play in, and it just fell to the wayside, and they're without a coach already. It is just bizarre on how fast things happen nowadays. It's the new landscape of college football, and I guess we'll see what happens. I think just more so, I just continuous shock on how many jobs are opened up this early in the season. You add in just yesterday, there were multiple jobs that got relieved and coaches that got fired yesterday. Penn State's just the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for me to think that another Big Ten job isn't very far down the road in Wisconsin. because if you look at what Wisconsin has coming up in the next 2 weeks, it's at Ohio State and then Oregon as well. So you're talking about, and then the last week, and this is how you can read tea leaves types of things. The last week of October, Wisconsin has a bye week. If you see how teams operate, 90% of the time, they fire coaches going into a bye week, so the interim head coach has a couple of weeks to get his bearings. Wisconsin would be what we expect to be 2-6 going into the last week of October. They're not out of bowl eligibility by any means because they can finish 6-6, but that would be the last bye week of the season for the Badgers to then make a change at head coach for Luke Fickell.
Nick, I thought that if Luke, in fact, I thought that Wisconsin may have a chance against Iowa just because Iowa's offense is so decrepit at times.
Yeah.
Iowa hung 37 on them jokers, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked they got beat that bad. I wasn't shocked they lost. I thought that actually they might have a chance to beat Iowa. But that was, I mean, I think that I think you're correct on that off week they have coming up. And you know what, Nick? It wouldn't surprise me to happen before then. I mean, it's kind of like, you know what? We're just delaying the inevitable at this point. It's waiting until the off week doesn't change anything as far as the financial buyout. But here's the thing, one thing about too, though, the athletic director at Wisconsin, he's the one that brought him in.
Yeah.
And the way that he took over and fired Paul Chryst was not exactly ceremonious either. You know, the way that whole thing took place. So there was a lot of feathers that were ruffled when Paul Chryst was relieved of his duties for Luke Fickell. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens up in Madison. Of course, the elephant in the room with Dr. Kraft at Penn State was at Temple the same time that Rule was there. I think they spent a couple years together at Temple. So, I mean, these are all things that are huge. You know, here at Nebraska, you know, it's funny. I can't say funny. It is funny just kind of reading. There's no way he's leaving he's gone to in the middles, etc. You just don't know. It's the days of us, Nick, of any school as far as that goes, with an exception of Iowa, who's had the dean of coaches there for, 20-something years now. Those days of having a coach for, 5, 10, 15 years that we were used to at Nebraska prior to Coach Solich being gone, because we've been through our own merry-go-rounds and revolving doors of coaches. It's just an unfortunate thing, but it's the way that college sports is right now, man.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's more so shocking, I think, that, the buyouts just don't matter nowadays. Like, we got to get out of this mindset is that, like, these numbers of buyouts are too much. Like, if organizations and programs, boosters are included in this conversation, if they really want those guys gone, then they will find the money. They will figure out the way to use the money or to raise the money. I also think we have to stop. And AD, you and I talked about this when Deshaun Foster got fired, when Mike Gundy got fired. We talked about how there is advantages to now having your job opened early in the cycle. All of these places are having a leg up. Number one, on the programs that have coaches leave to take those jobs, but then number two is everybody else that's going to wait till the end of the season to fire and move on from coaches. Why? Because they can have conversations now. They can take advantage of teams' bye weeks. They can take advantage of when so-and-so is on bye. They can fly them out to the school and talk to them and have a formal interview process, right? So, like, there are advantages. We got to stop getting in this mindset that buyouts matter. They don't anymore, especially in college football, especially because a lot of the times, and for James Franklin's case, it drops significantly if he's hired somewhere else, right? And then so contracts are structured that way. And not all of them are going to be like Jimbo Fisher, where you got to pay out all $70+ million of it because he's not going to get another job.
I think ADs are wising up a little bit, Nick, as far as that goes, to give their schools some leeway as well as far as who they're going to let go when. Kind of what happened this weekend as far as coaches being fired. Yeah, James Franklin, of course, the most prestigious one from Penn State. Had been there 12 years. Trent Dilfer, a lot of people may have forgotten, he was released from UAB this weekend. Trent Bray, Nick, starts off at 0-7 at Oregon State. He's relieved of his duties.
That's such a tough spot.
That's a tough spot. Then you look at the ones from the midseason that were already done. We talked about, of course, you got Arkansas. Sham Pittman was released from there last month. Oklahoma State, Mike Gundy, the former one of the leading ambassadors from Oklahoma State, longevity. He was relieved of his duties. Sam Pittman of Arkansas, I mentioned. UCLA Deshaun Foster was released way early, September 14th in the season. And then you had Brent Pry, that was released from Virginia Tech back on September 14th.
Yeah.
And Nick, like you said, there are more that are coming,
Yeah, I mean, it's bad. I mean, Michigan State loses a bad game to UCLA over the weekend. Obviously, you have the situation going on in Wisconsin as well. Those are just two bigger jobs in the Big Ten Conference. And then you talk about, the residual effect of who the jobs that are already open, where they hire, those jobs then obviously become open. And so there's so much. I will say this as well to everybody that loves to scroll Twitter and stuff. A lot of the information that you read is misinformation. And so there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we'll never know about and we'll never need to know about, will never come to light, and that's okay. I saw the one thing already on our text line. I got text about it yesterday about the plane stopping in Omaha or whatever. There was a plane that flew from Happy Valley to Omaha, and then it left Omaha last night. It was the Oregon soccer team. The same plane left Omaha and flew to Eugene, Oregon, like less than an hour later. They stopped for fuel because these cross-country flights. Like, also, let's be realistic. You can have phone conversations. Like, we're okay. Let's just talk about it. Let's talk about Pat Kraft and Matt Rule. You're telling me that if best friends wanted to talk, they would have to fly a plane to Omaha? Like, we have to use context clues here, and emotions get the best of us. I know, but there's no, they would not show up the day that they fired James Franklin and be like, hey, Matt, you want to talk? Like, that's not how these things go. And so we like to bring emotion into this. I understand it, but that just goes to show once again that a lot of the stuff that you read on social media, misinformation, it's not true. It's all rumors. It's all speculation. So don't add fuel to the fire in that regard.
Nick, it's going to be the time that plane licenses, plane tail will be read. They'll be looking at the tail end of the airplanes, where it left, where it took off at. All of a sudden, like this was years ago. You would have been around. The cable, there was somebody from the cable place was hooking up cable at a potential coach's house in Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
This is when all this gets started. Well, Nick, we're not going to have a lack of things to talk about. And folks, we want to get your opinions too, and what you're feeling too, because there was a game played, a very good one at College Park, where Nebraska rallied to win the game there against Maryland. A very closely contested game, a game that, man, Nick, I had to make sure I took my blood pressure pills. I literally went out to my kitchen to make sure I had taken them that morning. So there's a lot of things going on. Feel free to text into the text line in case you don't have it, the ALLO 402-464-5685. Nick, I'm going to take it real fast. When James Franklin was released, after the game, he stood on that field until every player was gone. Do you think he probably had an idea that this is probably it?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure there were conversations. Also, I mean, you saw the emotion on Franklin's face. He has that really tight connection with his daughters that he walks around the field with them every single game, and then they greet him in the tunnel after every single game. And you could kind of just tell that there was something different about this year, about this week, and that everybody in the stadium is chanting "Fire Franklin" and stuff. I'm sure that stuff gets to you. But
absolutely.
But ultimately, it goes back to, once again, like what's James Franklin doing today? Like what is James Franklin doing right now?
A one?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Counting the money. We thought it was Ed Orgeron. Like, tell me which door you want me to walk out.
That was only 17.
Yeah, that was only 17. That was only a fraction. That's about a third of what James Franklin's getting. So I mean, when it's all said, James Franklin will find a job. There's going to be some, whether it's lower level. Like I would look at Arkansas. Like I think James Franklin going back to the SEC, a place where he built Vanderbilt up to be in somewhat of a respectable program there. Arkansas has all the money in the world to be able to handle the contract that James Franklin is going to need to get. I feel like Arkansas or Florida, right? I don't know if he's splashy enough for Florida anymore now that he's fired from Penn State, but I think that like he'll get a landing spot. That buyout will diminish. James Franklin will be coaching next year, and it'll be just fine. The dude is 105-49. Like, we cannot act like he isn't winning over 70% of his games.
Nick, do you think? Before I ask you this, I'm going to say to Penn State. Obviously, I got a lot of family out there in Pennsylvania that read things really closely, living out right out there. And when I went out there and spoke 3 times, in fact, talked with some buddies that were formerly at Penn State or at various colleges right now. The thing that they said really made a lot of sense, particularly one of my buddies I've known for a long time. He's at a different school out in the what's actually it's Big 10 school, Big 12 school. He goes, you know what, AD? He goes, I was there when Bill O'Brien took over during all that chaos. You know, Coach Brown said the prayer on the field, all those good things that were going on. I mean, the bad things that were going on at Penn State. Bill O'Brien was there 2012, 2013. He goes, AD, when Franklin came in, he goes, granted, Bill O'Brien was the guy that, you know, really had to shut up his, you know, to get guys back to come back and to calm the storms that was there. Horrible, horrible stuff that went on there.
Absolutely.
And James Franklin, he goes, James Franklin came in AD. He goes, Bill did a great job. You know, he goes, but James really had to convince a lot of parents, a lot of boosters, a lot of alumni that we're going to get the ship right. I applaud the dude, you know, for what he did there and what he's going to do someplace else. So that being said, Nick, here's what I'm thinking. I'm not even thinking, I'm just curious. Do you think that James maybe takes a year off and just chills after a very contentious couple years just to kind of gather himself?
Maybe. I guess that's a possibility. I think the other side is, on the other side of that, this is as good of a cycle as you could potentially have, you know, going forward. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's just there's a lot of interesting and intriguing jobs that are going to be open, that are open, that James Franklin, and then part of the contract is that if he's fired, he has to give forth effort to try to find a job, at least. That's how the buyout goes down. And so,
golf ambassador there in Happy Valley?
I guess so. But he has to try to find a job.
Right.
And so, you know, it's hard to imagine that if he truly tries to interview and find a job, that somebody wouldn't want to hire him.
His situation, Nick, is going to be a lot different than Prize from Arkansas.
Oh,
you know,
1,000%.
In his contract, to where James Franklin, I mean, the moment that was announced, but before it was announced, his phone was probably going off because obviously they know before most of the other people know, agents on the phones and things of that nature, gauging interests. And Nick, man, you both know Florida may be sitting in the same situation soon. Florida State may be sitting in the situation soon. Wisconsin may be sitting in the same situation soon, which seems crazy, but it ain't all roses up in Lansing, Michigan right now, either with Coach Smith, man. It's just crazy how many places where it can potentially take place at. And then you always have that one-off that you didn't expect to see coming. That'll happen as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be fascinating. This is going to be a very, very long and drawn out couple of months. I mean, just like buckle up. That's all we have to say about this one. We're going to get Matt Rule at 11:30 today. He's going to talk to the media at 11:30. You can almost bet that somebody's going to talk about, hey, you know, you're linked to the Penn State job. What do you have to say about this? I wouldn't also be surprised if Matt just comes out at the start with just a statement. Doesn't even let somebody ask the question. Just say, hey, I know there's a lot of speculation. I also guarantee you this way, like he's going to be convincing. Like Matt Rule, we know how well Matt Rule speaks in public settings. He's going to be convincing. He's going to talk about how
convincing,
like he is. Let's not act like he's not going to be. Like he's going to get up there. He's going to be super confident. And this is not a bad thing. This is how he's a good coach, and it's a business. He's going to get up. It's going to be super convincing. You're going to see all over Twitter that, hey, Matt Rule, he loves it here. He just said it to us. Yeah, well, he also loves the East Coast. Like there's tea leaves there as well. So it's going to be a long, drawn out couple of months. I will also say this. I texted AD yesterday, and I said people are not going to like this take tomorrow on the show, and this is the take. He'd be stupid to say no. Let's just be real. Like Penn State is a team, is in a program that big picture wise can contend for national titles, or should be. They just did last year. He'd be stupid to say no. That's just how it is. There's a $700+ million renovation that's coming down the pipe in Happy Valley. Nebraska's got a lot of great things, but Matt Rule has not also shied away from talking about how much he loves his alma mater, how much he appreciates his best friend, Pat Kraft, and how much he loves the East Coast. There's like, I'm just saying, personally, I think Penn State would be stupid to offer him because they'd be getting essentially what they just fired in terms of ceilings. But then on that flip side, I think Matt Rule would be stupid to say no if he's offered it.
Nick,
people aren't going to like that, but that's the honest, 100% realistic take.
Well, here's the deal, Nick. Regardless of what people like or don't like, I mean, I've already told. We'll talk more about my feelings on it. For you to get an opportunity, okay, think about all the things that have to line up. a coach who has been there for a little over a decade in Franklin. 16 days ago, they were number 3 in the country.
Yeah.
They were slugging it out with Oregon in overtime, and they fall short. The following week, they go to UCLA, lose a game they had no business losing. Okay. Come home to one of the other lower teams in the conference. You lose to them at the crib. That was 16 days, all these things that have taken place, give or take.
Yeah.
The AD, Dr. Pat Kraft, is one of your close friends.
Yeah.
At your alma mater. You've got a Nebraska team that's sitting 5-1. Kind of hot right now, finding ways to win games rather than lose games. You get a chance to go back home. And not only that, you played at the school. It's hard to turn it down.
You talk about, okay, so you said something at the start there. And this is a lot of what I'm seeing on social media and from people saying it. It's a lot of, not even, I wouldn't say surface level. It's a lot of low-hanging fruit stuff. But as you dive deeper into this is what I want to get to. One thing is coaches are very strategic in their moves. And they are understanding that, hey, you know what? These moves, these opportunities just don't fall off of trees. They have to, number one, the coach at the place that I want to go to has to get fired. And then also, I have to be performing at a high enough level to be in consideration. If Matt Rule is coaching a 2-win Nebraska team, he's not in consideration for this. So on one hand, Nebraska fans should be happy that a coach that they have is being considered for one of the top jobs in the Big Ten Conference, for one of a top job in the country, potentially. And then on top of that as well is, this is a massive part when you talk about opportunities and all the things that have to line up. Nebraska has a very favorable schedule this season. The next 2 seasons, Nebraska has a gauntlet. It is a gauntlet. And that does not speak to the type of coach Matt Rule is. That speaks to the parity in college football that there's a serious chance Nebraska does not win nearly as many games as they win this year, next year, and the year after, not because of talent discrepancies, not because of coaching, just because the schedule is a pain. And so then there's coaches, and you guys can argue all you want at this, but this is 100% factual and truth. Coaches look at that and they say, okay, if I turn down this job in 2024 or 2025, am I going to have another crack at it? What's the likelihood of me being able to get out of here scot-free into a better situation or into a likewise situation in the next couple of seasons? Coaches always have to look for escape routes because there is zero job security in college football. James Franklin and Penn State just proved that to us. And so they're always looking, as no matter how much they love their current spot, always looking and always aware of ways to escape. Now, part of that is when you look at Penn State's schedule as well, they are easy. So then they say, okay, how am I going to, what's the launching pad look like? What does the start look like for me? Things are lining up. And so once again, we're not going to know certainties until the end of the year. And Matt Rule, and give him credit for it, Matt Rule is going to come out here in the press conference and talk about how things are he loves Nebraska, how his family loves Nebraska, and all that can be true. But there's also truth to the point of he loves the East Coast. And if you're one of those people, I also got this yesterday, D. Lastly, I know I'm rambling.
No, you're not rambling at all.
But lastly, I got this a lot yesterday. Man, I hope this doesn't destroy the culture. I hope this isn't used as a distraction for Nebraska in the locker room. It shouldn't be, because on one hand, guess what? If the culture is where it's supposed to be and where we're being told it's at, this doesn't disrupt the culture. But then if it does, maybe things aren't so peaches and rainbows in there. So this is, don't try not to allow emotion to get involved.
Here's what,
this is a business move.
It's a business move, but I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Nick, in that the locker room, because you bring in, if there's a worm swirling that your coach is going to leave, you can't help but have that be thinking about in the back of your head. You think about yourself as an athlete. You wouldn't be human if you didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Now, the culture is established. It's just being more established. But those players are thinking about it. I assure you they're thinking about it. When we've had, and Nebraska, obviously in my time, we didn't have to worry about that as much. But I remember when coaches were just coming in and out. And when Coach Brown was offered Florida State, guys in the locker room were saying, I wonder if he's going to take that job. They are thinking about it. Does it dismantle the season? By no means.
Yeah.
To your point, if it does, they were pretty fragile in the first place because you're still playing for something. But the players are definitely thinking about it because some of those players, because your thing, Nick, they're thinking, I came here because of Coach Rule and staff. So if he's not here, am I up and moving from my situation? But to your point, your first point, they still have a lot to play for. I mean, everything is still in front of them. I mean, they still have playoff aspirations, all those things in front, but they are definitely thinking, man, what's going to happen?
And on top of it all, like, once again, this is just what happens if you are a program on the rise like Nebraska is. You have to, I mean, in all honesty, Nebraska's done, frankly, I think more than enough to secure Rule, right? Like I saw a lot of people yesterday talking about pay this man. The dude's going to be making.
He's getting paid awfully nice.
Yeah, he's going to be making $12 million in 4 years. Like he's making a little over 8 this year. Like he is compensated, and you can't just keep on saying, like, from a program standpoint. I'm sure partially part of it is if Matt Rule. Okay, on the flip side, if Matt Rule doesn't take Penn State or doesn't get offered Penn State, it'd be malpractice by the agent to not get a raise out of Nebraska. Let's be realistic. But you can't always just say, hey, let's just keep on throwing more and more money at him. Like, sometimes you can't stop. You just can't stop a guy from going to go somewhere that he wants to be.
Folks, we're going to dive a lot more in this as we go to the other side, because there's a lot to discuss with this, Nick. Because like you mentioned, Nick, everything you weren't rambling at all. You're just spitting the truth that's out there, in the realities of this new landscape of collegiate sports, man. It just, when it comes to your front door, you know what I'm saying? Then it's kind of like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, it's like, whoa. I loved watching everything else burn around me. I don't like fire, though. It's getting a little too close.
You're starting to sniff them flames. Like, wait a minute, that's close to us right now, right? It's like when you're watching the tornado when it's way over there, but when it's in your front yard or something like that, it's like, dang. But we're going to talk about a lot more of this, the coaching carousals. And Nick, like you talked about how quickly it changes. How long has Coach Smith been at Michigan State?
This is his second year.
2 years.
Yeah.
And there's already hints, man, maybe not. I mean, you lose to Nebraska. You get beat at home against UCLA, and all of a sudden, the guy they said, man, this is our guy. I believe in this guy. It's shaky up there in Lansing.
Yeah. I mean, how crazy is it also? I mean, there's a chance if Florida starts winning, how do they get rid of Billy Napier, right? Like, there's that conversation as well. Man. And they were the first one that everybody was talking about how he was going to be the first guy fired.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is insane right now. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, and we're going to keep talking about it. Get as many as your texts we can. It's The Drive, 937 Ticket.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hi, I'm Sarai, your personal banker here at Midwest Bank. I'm proud to serve our community in English and in Espanol because everyone deserves a banker who understands them. This Hispanic Heritage Month, we're celebrating the traditions, values, and dreams that make our community strong. Whether you're opening your first account, planning for the future, or growing your business, estoy aquí para ayudarle a alcanzar sus metas. I'm here to help you reach your goals. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Verne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel. Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainer alongside AD here, 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line is open for you. Feel free to chime in with your thoughts, your calls, your texts, whatever you may be wanting to talk about here. The elephant in the room. We'll get to all your texts over the next hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes. The show, already 40 minutes into the show, AD.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Nick, I was thinking about this. And I'm trying to figure out the last season just in my head where it's been this many so fast.
Well, and I think a lot of people are asking the question as to why, right? I think there's a couple of things. Number one, programs and organizations feel like it's easier to win now than ever because a lot of things can be bought, and money's the main driver. And so everybody thinks that they have a lot of money, and they do, right? Like the universities that we're talking about, Nebraska's, the Penn States, those types of the Big Ten institutions, that they have a lot of money. And second is you can always get more. Third is also with this whole, I mean, frankly, the Big Ten, I think they're trending towards a very, how do I say this, ill-advised deal with the private capital and everything that Tony Petitti is trending towards.
Mm-hmm.
But with that massive influx of money, you're talking about each university getting millions and millions and millions of more dollars. They can handle buyouts. They can handle these outrageous contracts. There's just a lot. There's just a lot that, once again, we our jobs as fans and as analysts of this, a little bit different, right? It's okay to like just look on the surface, but then we also can understand. I don't even have an idea of what's going on in Coach Rule's mind, but we also can understand that they're thinking about it from a much more specific, maybe there's a certain angle. There's a lot of layers to the onions. There's a lot going on. And I like Dan from Canopy right here. He says, who cares if he leaves? It happens all the time. Roll with it, GBR. Let's just play the hypothetical scenario. Nebraska's in a hell of a better spot than where they were after Scott Frost got fired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so both of these things can be true. You can be disappointed if Matt Rule ends up going out the door. But on the flip side of that also, you can also appreciate what he was able to do in 3 years to put Nebraska in a better spot to where I told you before the show, AD, I would compare it somewhat to when Bo Pelini got fired, just because Nebraska, they'll probably win 8 or 9 games this year, maybe 10 if they get lucky, right, on a couple of them. And that's fine. Great. Cool. But then on top of that, I just think that, both of these things can be true. You can appreciate what Matt Rule has done, and you can also understand why he would want to go to Penn State.
Mm-hmm. The only person, good morning, hey, dog. He goes, hey, dog. Putting you guys on the spot, is Matt Rule head coach of Nebraska next year? And hey, dog, I'm going to tell you, man, I have no idea. And it's like Nick said, you never know what's going through his head. That is, I think, the 11:30 pressure.
Yeah.
Not saying he's making any decisions on that aspect, but like I said, you just don't know what's going to be done. I'm just telling you, listeners, right now, for me, let's say I was someplace else and coaching. I had a chance to come back home to Lincoln. Family, connections, where I'm from, the place is in a great situation. The boss would be one of my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be hard. I'm not saying 100%, but I'm just saying it would be hard to do it. Hard not to do it.
There's a lot of things on the surface, there's a lot of things on the surface to where Nebraska would, excuse me, let me rephrase that. A lot of things on the surface as to why Penn State, why Matt Rule would want to go to Penn State. The relationships, the obviously the things that are happening, expansion wise and renovation wise, but then also there's deeper things to this as well. And I'll just leave it at that. Big Haas has this question. We've gotten this a lot on the text line throughout the first 40 minutes of the show. how many recruits are going to decommit if he leaves. I think it's important to note that the Nebraska just naturally, anytime, this isn't just a Nebraska thing, there's going to be attrition. There's going to be guys that move on. There's going to be a kind of a reset, but also you can frame it as a fresh start too. Like, I just think that we are worried about hypothetical scenarios that aren't happening. It's okay to talk about them, but once again, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of season left. Nebraska still has at least 6 games left in their season. There's a lot of ball to play.
There is a lot of ball to play, and that's what's going to get lost at times during this, because there's going to be that uneasiness,
for sure,
what the future is going to look like. But at the same time, I guarantee you, on Friday night at 7, Minnesota Golden Gophers don't care what Nebraska's dealing with. That they're going to come and try to to smash our faces in, and that team was going to have to be dialed in. And this will be in the back of their heads. I mean, we'd be remiss to think that wouldn't be, but there's still things they got to accomplish to get taken care of. Nick, it's you're talking about. I want to bring it to the listeners. If you put yourself in your situation. If you had a chance, regardless of what your occupation may be, if you had a chance to go and work with one of your buddies, would you take that opportunity to go back home? So it's easy, I think, at times for some. I'm not saying all. For some to say, well, how could he leave? You got to put yourself in the situation too. If you were in that situation, you got to take your emotion out of it and just think logic for yourself. If you were in that situation, you had a chance to go back home. And not saying it doesn't always works out. I mean, we know that from the past regime that was here. Doesn't always work out. However, it's different in that Coach Rule and our former coach are night and day difference in how they go about business.
1,000%. We get this off the text line. This is completely insane. You guys are talking about, and I'll say this for me. You guys are, I'll put myself in it because I've said a lot of the hotter take things than AD. So I'll fall on the sword a little bit here. It says this is completely insane. You guys are talking about him leaving as if he's already gotten a job offer from Penn State. Why don't you just help him pack his bags and buy his airplane ticket for him? That is just as ridiculous as the conversation you're having now. I get where you're coming from. However, this is what Nebraska and we have in store for the next 2 months. Like, this is what it is.
You know what? Texter 6475, appreciate you, but this is the reality of it. No one's trying to help him pack his bags. I hate the fact, and I've told you this, Nick, before off air, I hate the fact that this is even in the air. No one said anything has been done yet. So I'm not helping anybody pack their bag, 6475. What we're simply discussing, if we don't discuss it, the other 35 texts we got here are sitting here be like, why are you guys not addressing it?
And
so we're kind of danged if we do, danged if we don't.
And that's the thing, because on one hand, let's say we're not talking about it, because AD and I texted yesterday about it. We were like, man, we'd like to talk about the Maryland game, but also, like, there's an elephant in the room, and we can't be naive to this. Like, this is college football. This is where you're at. There's a way to, I wouldn't even say positively spin this. I think there's a way to once again, it shows that there actually has been success and there has been progress and there has been moves made to where Nebraska is in a spot to where their coach, whether he's friends with the AD or not, like, we can look at this on so many different levels to where if he's being pursued by anybody, guess what? That means he's doing probably a pretty good job of his current spot, at his current landing spot. Like, that's just where it's at. And so college football is in this very, very fragile state. And once again, if you spend an unlimited amount of time on your phone and on Twitter and on X and on Instagram, and you read all these rumors and you read all the speculation, there is a way to where you will go stir crazy. Why? Because realistically speaking, they will not make any form of an announcement until the season is over or close to. Like, that's just it. So we're in this like lull, and we're in this like valley of like, all right, here we go. We're going to be sitting down here. All these little rumors and speculations are going to be thrown across and above us, but we just can't confirm or deny anything until then. Like, that's just how it is. And so it'd be, if we came out here, AD, and started talking about Nebraska, Maryland, which we will at some point in the show today. And we did not even mention the fact that Penn State fired James Franklin. And in a similar breath, we did not mention the fact that Penn State might target a former alma mater member, or a member of their alma mater and friend of their athletic director. Then everybody on the text line and everybody on the YouTube stream, and this is fine, this is not a bad thing, would send us a text and go, whoa, since you guys aren't talking about it, what do you know?
Yeah.
What do you know?
Dang if you do, dang if you don't. And Nick, I hate the fact that Nebraska is in this potential situation again, or just even, but at the same time, it shows you good things are happening here. This program is in a lot better state than it was because of Coach Rule and company. So you definitely do. And as far as we know, maybe that continues. We just don't know. But the thing about it, you have to address the elephants in the room, and just saying that's a possibility.
Yeah. And Old Dad 34 says this: how is college football in a fragile state? It just is what it is. That's exactly how it's in a fragile state. It is because everything goes. Everything is just unhinged. That's how it's in a fragile state.
Mm-hmm.
Now it might be easier now more than ever to build it back up into a specific program. It might be easier to build it back up into a stable winner, but things can crumble like a house of cards. Like that's the other part of it. And so that's why when I say it's in a fragile state, because these things can pop up whenever, but then they can also be shot down just like that. Rule could come out today and say, look, I know there's a lot of things. I think the best thing for Matt Rule today, being realistic, is that he opens up with a statement and he says, hey, look, I know there's speculation. I'm focused on Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he were to come out and talk about how he's not interested in the Penn State job, we all need to be smart enough to know that things change. Things change. You can take him for his word, and that's fine. But also, don't act like Nebraska hasn't been burned in the past. There's scars. There's scars that have slowly started to heal itself over, AD. But those scars can open up real quick again.
Yeah, at 51, man, I've seen a lot of coaches come in and come out. Some we thought we were going to get, didn't get. I mean, bumbled, stumbled, horrible coaching searches in the past.
Yeah.
Thank God the powers that be. If it comes to that, I could see it being a much smoother transition. But at this point, we just don't know what's going to happen. The one thing I do know what's going to happen is Nebraska's going to play Minnesota on Friday night at 7:00. And that's the thing that's going to have to take precedence over all of this. But again, not to mention and to bring it up and not to address it and just share about it, you'd be remiss. You'd be foolish not to do that. You know, Nick, I was thinking about, before we go to break, we'll come back here in a second. You talked about how quickly things can change. Did you think for 1 second Deshaun Foster would think he'd get fired a few games into the season? Did you think Coach Smith at Michigan State up there at Lansing thinking that, man, I'm good this year? You know, obviously you hate to lose those games. You know, it just goes to show you, Nick, like you said, these things can happen so fast as far as that goes. You know, so you just don't know, man. You just don't know.
Yeah, I just, you know, it is what it is. And this is this is an angle that I've read a lot on this text line. A lot of season left, tough games on the schedule. Unless Nebraska makes the playoff, Penn State won't want him. Matt Rule hasn't beaten any good teams. The only reason it's a conversation topic is because of our schedule. Sure, I partially agree with that, right? Like Nebraska's schedule has been easy. And then second off is the way that programs and organizations spin this is also, hey, just we have the stuff that can take you over the top. Hey, if AD's Penn State and I'm Matt Rule, I'm like, hey, you have the stuff that I can take you over the top. But also, if you know anything about Nebraska has everything. So that doesn't necessarily reign true.
Folks, we come back. Quick history segment. And then we'll hop right back into this. But also, we're definitely going to discuss what you say.
Emotional Monday.
Emotional Monday. We're definitely going to discuss Nebraska's come from behind win there at College Park on Saturday, which seems like it was a million days ago. Just a manic Monday.
I wish it was Sunday.
We'll be right back. It's The Drive, 937 A Ticket.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Verne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Verne as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer. Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. What a crazy, crazy 48 hours it has been. Extreme highs, extreme concern, and there's others just like, I wonder what's going to happen. And it's not just Nebraska, it's other schools around the country that are wondering the same thing. Nick, I was thinking about this with Kirk Ferentz at Iowa. 23 years now he's been there, give or take, 23 years. And there was a lot of people barking down his tree, just like, you know what, he obviously had to make the sacrificial lamb, his son, the sacrificial lamb is the OC.
Yeah.
All right, he got rid of him. They end up dusting, boat race in Wisconsin 37-0. Gundy is no longer there. Who, besides Kirk Ferentz, now that Franklin's gone, and I'm just asking the fan base this too, I mean the listenership, besides Kirk Ferentz, what coach has the longest tenure at his school right now?
That's tough.
What coach has the longest tenure out of school right now besides Kirk Ferentz? Franklin's gone. Of course, Gundy would have been number 2 at that point. Would have been Ferentz, Gundy. Franklin definitely in the conversation. He's no longer there. You think about your perennial programs. What coach in your Power 5 has the longest tenure at his school right now for history? Text line, let me know. I haven't looked anything up. I just told Nick I'm going to keep it, Nebraska, somewhat sports. I have no idea who that person is right now, Nick. Yeah. I don't know. Text line, if you know who that is, let us know on the Allo text line at 402-464-5685. Kirk Ferentz is the dean of college sports, right? College football at his school. Who is behind him now that Gundy is gone and Franklin's gone? Nick, I don't know.
I mean, it'd be Dabo probably. Kyle Whittingham. Mississippi Mud Dog, great choice. Kyle Whittingham.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
Great,
thanks,
great call.
Dog. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, my mind was, but I could not think of who that person would have been, man. And of course, a Dabo would have been definitely in that mix.
Kirby's quickly getting up there, which that was some of the worst officiating I have ever seen on Saturday in that Georgia Auburn game. Did you see that, AD?
What's that?
The officiating with
I didn't watch that Kirby game, so I was watching that USC
So
game.
Kirby Smart is running down the sidelines, pleading for a timeout. They award him the timeout, and he realizes that he didn't want to take one. So he convinces the referees that he's clapping his hands. And they believed him. They gave him back the timeout. Play stopped, and he essentially got an extra timeout.
I was glancing over Twitter.
Oh,
Nick,
I would have been heated.
I didn't know what they were talking about because I didn't dive into it. But someone said he's a liar and he knows he is. And I didn't dive into the article.
Yeah.
So that's what they were talking
It's
about.
bad. I'll show you the video during the break. But he is. They then on ESPN they're like, or ABC they're showing the video and he's clearly signaling timeout. They award it to him. He realizes,
That's
no,
bad.
I didn't want to do it. So you can see him. He's talking. He's like, I'm trying to clap. I mean, can you believe that? Oh my gosh. What do you got for history real quick?
That is bad. No, that was it.
Okay, perfect. Let's get out of here then.
I want to know who that coach was.
There you go.
Folks, we come back. We'll be discussing it more. It's The Drive, 937 The Ticket.
Give your furnace a break with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Heartland of Nebraska Windows offers a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty of everything, while still keeping their prices affordable. Sounds too good to be true, right? Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family-owned with their own team of installers. Give the window experts at Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today at 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Elevate your home or business with the help of Heartland of Nebraska Windows today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, slight chance of showers, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, probably sunny skies and be breezy. The high around 67. Tonight, a chance of showers, the low around 54. And tomorrow, a continued chance of scattered showers. Otherwise, cloudy skies with the high around 67. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert.
Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of B.J. Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Mafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back. A lot of coaches around the country that will not be back, though, Nick, unfortunately, as far as that goes. You know what, though, man? I was thinking about this, man. 49 million. It's anywhere from 48 to 51 million is buyout, give or take. There's a few numbers on, online that, and just when you look it up, as far as the buyout for James Franklin. And like you mentioned, if he has to make good faith effort in finding and securing another job, which will mitigate that down a little bit. But at the same time, Nick, it's kind of like, you know what, bro? You remember when Coach Orgeron got fired? Which door you want me to go out of, and what time you want me to leave?
Yeah, please.
You know, you pay me that type of money, obviously because the kids. I mean, if you're no one is that. I mean, it was funny when Coach Orgeron said it. But you figure you spend a dozen of your life someplace. There's a lot of emotional attachments to where, you're getting paid nice, but you're still. I mean, that's still a place where you've a lot of memories for your family, etc. And I think sometimes people think, well, the guy's making $49 million, man, life is good. True, but it's still you're uprooting your family. There's life things you were attached there. You brought kids in that situation. As far as recruits, you just have to be not human if you have no emotional response whatsoever. And I think it showed a lot about Coach Franklin when he was the last. He made sure that all of his players were off that field on Saturday evening. I think he kind of knew the handwriting was on the wall after that one. As far as that goes, he realized, you know what, this is probably it. And coaches aren't stupid, Nick. They can read between the lines. Maybe a lot not being said between you and your AD and the powers, the brass that may be at the events prior to the game. These coaches go, speak at. The crowd's a little colder, if you would. The conversations aren't as much, but these coaches aren't foolish, and they know it's like something one of my buddies told me. It was coaching for years. He goes, AD, in this business, you know that you're getting hired to get fired eventually.
Oof.
He goes, that's the way it is in this business. You're getting hired to get fired in most cases.
And there's just zero job security. I mean, honestly, I mentioned that I sat. Well, people didn't believe me, but that's okay. I did mention that I sat next to Eckler on the plane, Mike Eckler, a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him. I said, "Do you ever get a second to just catch your breath?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "There's no job security in this." He said, and I know it. He said, "We all know it." He said, "There's no job security. You never feel comfortable at a place." And so it's just the competitive drive that these guys have that just consistently, wills them to do more and more.
DF, thanks for sending this in, man. As far as the coaches, the top longest tenure, of course, Kirk Ferentz since 99, Kyle, Utah 05, Troy Calhoun, Air Force. I forgot about Calhoun at Air Force, man. Yeah. Dabo, of course, Dave Dorian at North Carolina State. Stoops, I didn't realize Stoops had been there as long as he's been at Kentucky.
Mark Stoops has
I did not realize
best.
He'd been there that long.
Let me tell you,
10 years. I didn't think 13.
No. I'll tell you this right now. Mark Stoops has the best job in college football. Kentucky doesn't have any interest in moving on from him ever. He can win 7, 8, 9 games a year or every now and then and be fine. He's getting paid close to $10 million to do it. He has the best job in college football because that's as close as job security as you can get. I don't know. I'm telling you.
Life is good.
Life is great.
He's got the Kentucky Derby right there.
Yeah. He just lost the biggest recruiter on his staff in Vince Morrow, who went to in-state school at Louisville
who was
last
formerly
year.
here at Nebraska for a
Who
while.
was, yeah. And Nebraska fans might never have forgave Vince Morrow after he stole Wan'Dale Robinson from us prior to him coming back to Nebraska. But ultimately, there is just, that's as close as to 100% job security as you're going to get.
Nick, let's dive into Nebraska. We'll come back to this more as well.
Nebraska basketball starts this week. Let's talk about that.
They got an exhibition game against BYU at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
What's the starting five going to be, AD?
No idea. No idea.
Well, Fred told us last week he has no idea, so it's okay.
Know. He doesn't even know who it is.
Yes, Nebraska wins against Maryland.
Nick, okay, and text line, let us know. Like I said, we'll get to these after we're going to discuss Nebraska. We'll get back to your text for the remaining of the show and read what you're thinking, because I think it's important to read what's on your heart, your mind, your opinions. And again, folks, we're not here to disagree or agree with anything on there. We got our opinions, you got yours, and that's what makes it great radio.
I was going to say, the thing about this show is we can actually agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I can say AD. Never mind. I'm not going to finish that statement. Go ahead.
I love you.
I love you. See, you love me. I don't know if it's a mutual feeling. No,
you never say it back.
I never say it back.
Say it.
I love you. Say it back.
I love you.
So, it is crazy.
Well, folks, I love the finish that Nebraska had, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Nick. I was again, like we talked, take the freaking points.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
boy, this
there
literally vibrating right here. I'm
Jesus,
so adamant about that. The first drive, and Grant, it may have been kind of zone, but we won the game, and that's all that matters. We won the game.
Yes.
But I was still very frustrated. We did not take the points. But Nebraska does. I'm not going to say for everybody, but I'm going to say for Nebraska in the past 10 years, they did the unthinkable by coming from behind to win that game. I was surprised at just the workmanship, just how they were dialed in. And I'm going to tell you something, man. A couple of those INT, in my opinion, even looking at the routes and talking to a few folks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one that Dylan threw off his back foot that was just uncalled for.
Yeah.
Uncalled for. The one to Barney, when you're sitting in the zone, you have to come back and meet the ball. You don't stay in a spot. Coach Brown would tear us apart. He would say, attack the ball. When you're sitting there like that.
Yeah.
And the one looked like he ran heel. Was it heel or is it no. It was the one with the curl route, but he kept going. Yeah. He was supposed to sit there and attack the ball. So, granted, we go back and forth. That one throw that Dylan threw should not have been thrown, but I'm telling you, the other two right there, a lot of that's laying on the receivers too, because Dylan was throwing it where the receiver was supposed to be at, not where the receiver decided to go.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I guess you just kind of take the good with the bad, because both things can be true. No, Dylan's having a really nice year, big picture wise, right? Like you look at his season long statistics, and I've seen that's the biggest like defense for Dylan Raiola is, well, look at what his season statistics are. He's getting ready to break records at Nebraska. Don't be so negative on him. But then as you zoom in, there are little details that are frustrating. And I think both things can be true. In the macro vision, yeah, he's having a pretty nice season. As you continue to shrink it and go micro, you can pick apart things. You're always going to be able to pick apart things. And people are just very emotional when it comes to Dylan Raiola. I mean, that's just the honest truth. Or Nebraska's quarterback in general. So I think you take the good with the bad. Now, what I would caution fans is to recognize the similarities between the last couple of years. Against bad opponents, Dylan can carve them up and slice them with the best of them. Mm-hmm. But then when against the more formidable opponents, he has yet to show dominance. He shows flashes consistently. He does. Mm-hmm. But the ability to do it game to game has been something that I think Nebraska fans still do deserve to say, okay, we want to see it play out.
Right.
Because Dylan started the year last year too. Same reason, almost similar way. Maybe not throwing it as much because Nebraska's offense was not as good, but few turnovers in the first couple of games. Everybody sat here and said, whoa, we have a quarterback now that doesn't turn over the ball. This is huge. Well, then towards the end of the year, it got sloppier and sloppier. And now this one, I'm not saying it's on the same trajectory, but as you've seen it against Michigan State, there was a bad INT. Against Maryland, there was 3 bad interceptions there. It's time once again, though, for Dylan to now show that he's grown. And I think prove it to himself as well.
Thunder Not Collins says, we took the points and won. Good call, AD. I'm not sure what your second remark is about, though. I don't understand what that was, Thunder Not Collins. It's because I said he never stops into the station anymore. He comes in, he comes at me, he goes, well, to be fair, we disagree with Nick a lot. And I said, well, Thunder Not Collins. Coming between 9 and 11,
well,
homie.
What I said is, Thunder, you never stop in anymore. I miss you, maybe.
See, you couldn't help but to say maybe, man.
So that's
why you just say I miss you.
Well, because maybe.
Why do you have to add the second shot on there?
Well, it's maybe.
Hey, Nick gets married. I love you too, honey. Maybe. Then you'll be divorced.
I could be a head coach. I'm pretty non-committal. Wait, what?
I'll take the job.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Nebraska got the job done. Nick, let me ask you this, man. Just far as grading the things, man.
Yeah.
Of course, Nebraska. There were some mishaps in there, which you're always going to see. But you know what I was glad to see, Nick, is the resolve they showed with under 3 minutes to play in the game, and they come down and they find a way to win. And you know what I thought was the most impressive play in the offensive? Now, I mean, the one-handed catch by Dane Key was awesome.
Yeah.
The 2 touchdowns by Dane Key by Isaiah were awesome.
Well,
but the catch by Lindemann,
for sure.
That
was a great throw.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about. You take there's so much good. There's so much good.
Yeah,
and then there's just a little bit of bad. Here's the thing I will say about Isaiah. How much have we been starving as consumers of Nebraska football, guys? How much have we been starving for a player at the skill position, whether that's running back or wide receiver, that has breakaway speed? No, in the last decade, there are very few. I can count on my first 2 fingers. The people, maybe DeMornay is one. DeMornay is the first one that I can think about. The rest, has Nebraska had somebody that has had the breakaway speed that has been able to get away from, like, I thought about it when he catches that ball and he turns upfield. It would have been like a 20-yard gain in years past, but they would have been escorted to the sideline. They would have been out of bounds. Everybody like, whoa, all right, explosive play. Let's go. A screenplay worked. But now this is 2 weeks in a row where he has been in what I would call a negative position in correlation. Okay, Trey Palmer's the second one. Thank you. But once again, I just think that, Nebraska, there was so much good.
Dude, that's
there was so much good.
Week doing basically the same jailbreak play.
It was the same exact play.
To where he just showed, that there's a quick move and you're just gone.
Yeah.
And there were guys from Maryland that had the angle on him and still did not catch him.
That's what I'm saying. And a big part of it, how about the offensive line?
Yeah.
How about Elijah Pritchett? Like, give the man his flowers, because we were so quick to chuck rocks at him. But here we are. Now we can give him his flowers a little bit.
He minimized. He had the one hiccup.
He did.
But so the rest of the guys. But he minimized it. But I tell you that one hiccup. There's a lot of plays that I watched. I watched the game again yesterday.
Yeah,
he had some great blocks yesterday, man.
And maybe we just sit here once again, and similar to Dylan, in the spot that Nebraska's in as a 9-win team. That's what I'm going to say, 9-win team right now, because I'm pretty confident in Nebraska being able to get 4 more dubs this year. As a 9-win team, you got to take the good with the bad and say, okay, you know what? At the offensive line and at left tackle, maybe they could have identified better. But for what it's worth, Elijah Pritchett did its job. And for the umpteenth time this season, we saw Justin Evans get out and go block a dude in space from the center position.
Yeah, show a lot of athletic ability.
As bad as the offensive line has been, you have to give it credit when it played well. And it sure as heck played well against a really good defensive front for Maryland.
Now, I know, and Nick, I agree with you 100%. I know that there were some mishaps there, but I'm going to tell you this. 176 yards for Emmett Johnson rushing. Now, a lot of people will look like, yeah, what about all the yaks, yards after contact? Yeah. But to get him the yaks, there had to be holes for him to get there in the first place. The offensive line, because at first, they were kind of getting handled that first series or two.
1,000%.
I was getting pretty nervous. I'm like, good gosh, these guys are getting wrecked up there. They settled in, and it was almost like, Nick, they were kind of like a big old Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Oh, yeah.
Once that joker gets rolling down, you go, oh, yeah. We had a
I
lot of
know
those
exactly what it is.
We had a lot of those at Pius. You had dice hanging from the mirror.
yeah.
Fuzzy steering wheels.
Would change out the color every month.
Once that big car gets going down interstate, it gets real smooth. It's a little start.
Is it like a Monte Carlo?
It's a little bigger than the Monte Carlo.
Okay.
The Monte Carlo is usually just a 2-door, but you get them big coupes, big 4-door coupes. You have the 2-door and the 4-door.
Okay.
But Nebraska's offensive line, once they got rolling, they found a good lather, a good mix, a good timing. And then they started playing, Nick, a little bully ball.
Well, and that's what, okay, so this is where I would say with Money G in Kansas, because I agree with this. Money G says, I wish Nebraska would feed the ball to Emmett Johnson a little bit more inside the 10-yard line. This is where I think it's easy for us as like just spectators to say, man, I wish Nebraska in between the 20s to 20, Nebraska can get push. And that can be factual. The other side, and I don't know if this is what it is. This would be a question, I guess, for Dana Holgorsen tomorrow. So maybe I need to do my job as a media man and ask Dana. But maybe part of it is that Nebraska, from a power run standpoint, doesn't block as well, can't get a push up front against maybe the bigger bodies that of defensive sets that Maryland would bring in at that time, right? I think there's a couple of ways to look at that. So I think Money G, like ideally, right? Like it would be great if Nebraska could line it up if they have the ball at the 5-yard line, line it up 4 times, run the exact same play, and have confidence that you're going to get enough push needed to go ahead and get the job done. I don't know if Nebraska's skill set is that. And so, once again, as Dana said a couple of weeks ago, he's not just going to line up and do things that he doesn't have confidence in. Right. And so, if in that moment it is, all right, the most confidence I have in Nebraska is, if I'm Dana Holgorsen, is to keep the ball in Dylan Raiola's hands and to allow our playmakers in the perimeter to go to work, then that's what we need to call. And so instead of, because guess what? Then on the flip side, what if this happens? If Nebraska does consistently feed 3 straight run plays to Emmett Johnson, and that's exaggerating a little bit, but 3 straight run plays to Emmett Johnson inside the 5, and Nebraska gets 1 yard in those 3 plays, we're going to sit there and go, oh, come on, don't take the ball out of the hands of your quarterback, right? So it's understanding the strengths of the team that we don't get to see practice, unfortunately, so we don't know how well against big body versus big body of other Big Ten schools, how well Nebraska can get push up front. We know what they can do, though, 20-20, because we've seen it consistently with Emmett Johnson, who's been so good.
Absolutely. What was, Nick, encouraging, too, is to see the offense bail the defense out for a change.
Oh, yeah.
Because the defense, there was a lot of missed tackles in that game against Maryland, man. And I mean, a lot of missed tackles. So it was good to see the offense finally say, you know what? We got this. And there were times the defense stood, you know what, and stood the ground when they had to. But overall, I would say it was complimentary, but I would say the compliments definitely go more to the offense and how they marched the ball down the field and said, you know what, we need to score and we're going to get it. Nick, do you think they were going for the first on that 4th down play when we got the delay game, or do you think they were just trying to draw them off?
They were going.
I think they were going too.
Set the precedent. I know you hate it. But you're on the road. I know. Look at you.
Look at my
Look, I'm seeing it on the stream. If I see it, actually, I can't. I won't be able to stay
serious. Is it wrong
serious.
that I say I'm glad it didn't work out so we got the points to make so we can win the game?
Well, wait. Are you talking about the second time or the first time?
I'm talking about the second time.
Okay, yeah, second time. Second time, I think they were trying to draw them off.
You think they were?
Yeah, the first time
they were definitely going for it.
The first time they were going for it.
I'm talking about the second time.
Yes, the second time, yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad they got the points there.
Yes.
Right? But that's where it goes back to understanding flow of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm okay with that decision on the first drive of the game.
Yes. I wasn't there, but yes.
I wouldn't have liked it in that second spot, because I think, hey, you're on the road. It's your first true road game.
Mm-hmm.
You've been moving the ball well once again. Set a precedent of we're going to punch you in the mouth nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like that idea. I also think, I mean, it was just a drop. Like, it just happens. We saw it last night with Detroit. Like, Detroit went for it near midfield, and it was a catch by, Amon-Ra catches that pass on fourth down.
I was shocked.
9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times he catches that ball.
Yep.
And it just doesn't happen. Sometimes football just happens.
Yeah.
And so you set a precedent early, but then you make adjustments in the middle of the game. You don't be doing the same thing over and over. You don't be insane. You don't be insane and do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. You take the points, you take your medicine, and it ended up being the reason Nebraska won.
Absolutely. We come back, Nick. I do want to talk about the receivers again, though. And just a guy we have not talked a lot about and the impact he's had, Nebraska new receivers coach DeKill Shorts. I want to talk about the impact he's had on the receiving core this year, as well as grade some of the guys out defensively before we hop into the college football weekend scoreboard, because there was a lot of scores that happened that, whew, it was one heck of a fireworks show.
Should we talk about the coaching carousel? No, I'm just kidding.
Sure. we haven't talked about that yet.
We haven't talked about that. We're getting a lot of texts about Matt Rule leaving Penn State.
Folks, you know what? We come back. We're going to do a very quick. No. We're going to do a very quick glance over the receivers. We're going to hop into some of your Texas and do that for the rest of the show, because I want to hear from you like we have been. We're going to read those as many as we can. We'll be back. It's Drive.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, We figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Folks, we are back. Cannot forget about our man, Jack Russell, a long-term representative with Farm Bureau Service since 1999. Jack can help protect your home, your vehicle, your family, and even your future. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100 or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or in Seward and learn how Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services can help you. Jack's a good one. Give him a call. What you laughing at, brother?
Oh, just emotional people texting. Me, not on the show, texting me. There's a lot of emotions out there.
A lot of, and rightfully so.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, rightfully so. And and folks, Grant, there's two schools. One is like, well, there may be a few schools of thought, if you would. There's some like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. It happened to the coach around, next guy up. There's others who are like, please God, no. There's a third going, let's wait and see. And others are just kind of it's just in their heads right now. Who knows what's going to happen? Because none of us know what's going to happen. And again, I want to mention this. For us not to bring it up, we're not doing our job. I mean, there's not a station or a news outlet in the state that's not covering it in some shape or form. Just wondering what people are thinking, wondering what's going to happen here. I mean, if we came on here and did not mention it, y'all be like, have you guys been living under a freaking rock all weekend?
I wish.
So you gotta do that. And Nick, again, I hope nothing changes here. I
absolutely,
because then we're in the transition. We're in the revolving door again, man.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Nick, to your point, that revolving door doesn't have as many squeaks as
Yeah.
it did in years past. In fact, the door wasn't even moving in times past because it was so dilapidated and malnurtured, if you would. But now, if it happens, it's a lot better condition. But I don't want it to happen. I want some stability at Nebraska. In my 51 years, the first 30 years of my life, it was stable. But I understand too, Nick, I'm not naive. The way the landscape has changed, that those days are gone as far as that goes. So I do understand that. And I do get that aspect of things. But yeah, I don't want any movement going on, man, because there's all sorts of collateral changes. And I don't want to call it damages. There's all sorts of collateral changes that happen when a coach leaves.
Yeah.
You think about, I tell you what, I give Neuheisel and Coach Skipper at UCLA, Nick, and
people are forgetting that Tim Skipper's the interim head coach. Everybody's like, hey, Jerry Neuheisel, the era is incredible.
And Skipper's the one that brought Neuheisel I'm not brought him, but gave him the promotion to call the plays.
Yeah.
And you think about that. A couple weeks ago, Nick, I know you remember this because we can find it. When I mentioned the games that I was the most concerned about, and I said that Northwestern is a team that I have confidence. I said, but I'm still cautiously, optimistic. I said, but cautious. And someone said, what about UCLA? You don't even have a coach. I said, because remember I said a hurt animal has nothing to fear.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what UCLA has done because they have nothing to lose. They knock off Penn State. They knocked off Michigan State at home. So that's a team that's just playing. Figuring, this is house money. We ain't got nothing to lose.
No.
You've already put us out for dead anyway. So we might as well come back and fight like we're zombies anyway. And that's how they've been playing. So it just shows you how quickly things can change. But, there's a number of guys that stayed in UCLA and said, and they had the option, that 15 to 30-day window to say, we're out of here. A number of them stayed and said, so Skipper must have said something to him. Hey, the ship may have some holes in it, but we ain't sinking yet. And so the Skipper is leading the hell out of UCLA right now. I tell you that. And that game we got against them got a lot more difficult.
I was just going to say, think about that.
And
game.
Northwestern as well, that goes into Penn State and knocks them out and probably sends Franklin packing.
Yeah, I was really happy for David Braun. I really like David Braun through the conversations we've had with him at Big Ten Media Days and stuff, and the last time that he was in Lincoln as well. He's a coach that is, defensive minded. And then I also sit there, if you're David Braun, at a really difficult place to win. And you go through all the stuff with Pat Fitzgerald, and David Braun gets brought in. He immediately gets named the interim head coach. He takes him to an 8-win season. He gets the full-time gig, goes back and has a 4-8 season last year. Now this year, Northwestern is 4-2 overall. I really hope David Braun, that as bad as it is for me to say, I hope he gets offered a job like in the ACC somewhere. Like, I think the best thing for David Braun, and now would you leave the Big Ten? Would you want to leave the Big Ten for an ACC job? Probably not. So I understand how ridiculous this probably sounds.
But if that check is right.
But if the check is right, and I just think it's so difficult to win at Northwestern. And the fact that he's done it in kind of the
rest of that.
Yeah, in the kind of way he was thrown into the fire. The fact that he either two things need to happen. Either he needs to leave and go take an quote unquote easier place to win at job, or second, Northwestern needs to pay him. They need to commit to him, because they committed to him for a short term after they got him the full-time gig 2 years ago, but they need to continue committing to him, because once again, David Braun's got to get something out of this year.
What he's putting out, and Nick, I think the powers that may be at Northwestern were thinking he'll be, like you mentioned, he'll be a good interim until we get, the water settle a little bit. We'll bring somebody else in. But he's proving to them, like, look, I am that guy. And if you don't feel that I am that guy, I will find someone who does see the value that I bring to the organization. And like you mentioned, a lot more lax qualifications and admissions parameters as well, and more money as far as that goes. So if he keeps doing what he's done so far, man, he's going to be sniffing. And other schools are going to be sniffing as well, saying, like, if he can do that at Northwestern, what could he do here with a lot more resources and admissions guidelines not as stringent as well?
Yeah, I think you're right. I just think there's a lot of, whether it's Big 10, ACC, or excuse me, Big 12, ACC, like I would also sit there. I think Michigan State, it's less about Jonathan Smith and more about the Michigan State athletic department. I think it's a Michigan State athletic department issue.
And, with Michigan State, anyway, they just got the new guy in there that came from Georgia Tech, has been known to a guy that can raise a lot of funds, raise a lot of money. You remember, and that's, and go ahead. yeah, that was not the guy they brought in there, his guy that he brought in there. So there's going to be some interesting things with that. Folks, I'm going to read a few of your text messages real here. And again, feel free to text in. I'm just going to read and just kind of see what everybody else thinks, give your opinion. Thunder Knot Collins, good morning. You go, I'm just glad he threw those picks before the game-winning drive, like we have gotten used to since the Riley era. Also, I posed a question to your friend of mine. Is it possible the Nebraska fan base has been scorned over the past decade, that even after a game like Saturday and finding a way to win, despite committing 3 turnovers, the world is ending? I personally miss the heart attack Huskers and hope the heartbreak Huskers are dead and gone forever. You know what? I hope they are too, Thunder Knot Collins. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised that Nebraska was able to conjure up the drive, and more importantly, just the moxie and the football acumen not to do anything to hurt themselves. Because as we all know, Nebraska, no one has been mutilated Nebraska more than we have mutilated ourselves in as far as that pass and those close, hence why the chasing 3 stuff we had. Unmasked texture. I would get some more of these. Unmasked texture. Players with breakaway speed. You mentioned fix the trenches and everything else will fall into place, which we've seen evidence of that took place the other night. So I agree with you on that. Garage Jeff, good morning, brother. You say right here, 100. I think Penn State will be looking for more of a Tom, a hire as a rule. Hasn't proven he can really take a program to the top, so we'll see what happens with that. Nick, what do you got on there to read on yours, man? What jumps out to you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot here.
And again, there's so many folks, so we don't get all of them. We forgive us on that, but there's a lot on here we're trying to get to.
Yeah, I just think that, okay, Corey and Lincoln, here we go. I'm not concerned with Rule leaving. I think Kraft would hire Rule immediately, but I think a Rule hire would be received very poorly at Penn State from the highest level boosters all the way down to the water cooler fans. His resume flaws are the same as Franklin's, a terrible record against ranked teams. In fact, Franklin was bad against top 10 teams, very good against other ranked teams. Rule has been bad against all ranked teams. Why would anyone at Penn State be excited about that, with the exception of Kraft? And Corey and Lincoln, you're absolutely right. I think, though, that if we know of anything, is that there are ways to spin it. I mean, hypothetically speaking, Rule is as good of a I don't want to say speaker. I mean, I guess so. He would be very, very good at pitching himself, I think, to Penn State. And I think naturally that's something that Matt Rule does very well, is just he sells very, very well. He's as good of a speaker in terms of a head coach as I think we've come across, in all honesty. And he can take he can come across as open and transparent, and he can be very relatable to a lot of fans. And I think naturally you can sit there and say, okay, we can spin it as to, hey, Penn State, look what I did at Nebraska. Remember how bad Nebraska was just 3 years ago? And in 3 years, I took Nebraska, a place that I had no connection to, and I could bring in East Coast kids. I could recruit the state of Florida well. I could still recruit the state of Texas very well. And he could point to what the 2027 class is projected to look like. There's a lot of things that he can look at and say, well, now you give me a spot to where I played, where I understand what it's about. I have a great relationship with the athletic director. I love the East Coast. I think there's a lot of ways to where you could be sold on projections and sold on potential. And Corey, I absolutely agree with you. The record is what it is, and those facts you cannot discredit, because I very much agree with you. It's why I said it earlier in the show. I think Penn State would be stupid to offer the job, but I also think Matt Rule would also be stupid not to take it. And people, we see it time and time again at multiple programs. Doesn't matter if you're dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars. People do stupid stuff.
Yeah, there's no denying that.
There's just the honest truth.
There's no denying that.
And maybe stupid is a harsh word. I think Penn State would be able to go out and get a more proven coach against those top 25 opponents for the reason that they fired James Franklin. Stupid's the wrong word there.
Unknown texter, looks like somebody from Great Britain that's texted in here. I don't understand the intuition behind Rule hiring at PSU. PSU needs to beat OSU and Oregon. Not getting everyone to sing Kumbaya again. This isn't the Sandusky scandal anymore for them. It makes no sense. That's a good insight right there, too, because I think Kraft, freshly getting there, just only been there a few years, if he can't mess this hire up.
And that's the big thing.
He absolutely could not mess this. Whoever he brings in.
Yes. And that's where it's so fascinating, AD, because to Corey and Lincoln's point, I absolutely agree. On the surface and out to everything there, in all honesty, is it is a risky hire because the statistics speak for themselves. But once again, when you bring emotion into this, that's when you can trip up. That's when you can make the wrong hire. That's when you can invest time, energy, money into the wrong people. And so it's funny. Aiden texts in and goes, "Why is Nick writing Rhule's sales pitch for him?" That's not what I'm trying to do at all. I'm trying to just provide context as to it's a lot more. I think for this, there's a lot more things to consider than just what we see on the surface.
You know, real quick, when Dirty Tony the boys, what's up, brother? He goes, AD, what's your opinion on the fight after the Chiefs game last night? Seems to me Branch was embarrassed on a crack block by Juju Smith-Schuster and tried to get revenge. I agree with you on that. And you know what, Dirty Tony the boys, you know, Dan, Coach Mullen, he came out, Campbell, I'm sorry. Campbell came out and said, hey, that's bull. We don't play like that. I'm sure Branch, he goes, that we're not that type of organization. And they're not. I thought it was Bush League, Dirty Tony the boys.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, if I'm Juju, we are scrapping if you come after me like that after game. But the thing that made me laugh about Juju, he did the fake fall like he was still in the game. I'm like, no, bro, you got to stand up, knuckle up on that one.
Okay, so by the way, Troy and Lincoln says, this is, I feel like our job today, AD, is just to provide context, right? Like, because there's a lot of things that are being out there. Troy and Lincoln says, wouldn't it cost Rhule a ton of money to leave?
No.
That's the thing too. We need to remember.
Relatively, no is what I'm saying.
The buyout, well, first off, if Rhule left
on his own,
he wouldn't. But okay, hold on. He wouldn't pay that money.
No.
It would be Penn State or whoever hired him away to pay that money. His buyout, if Nebraska fires him right now, is $49 million. So yeah, that costs Nebraska a lot. If Rhule leaves on his own, it drops down to $5 million. That's the clause in his contract. So to answer your question, Troy, it would not cost a ton of money. That's how, frankly, Penn State could afford it, or any other program could afford it, is because if Rhule leaves on his own, that buyout drops down significantly. So it's interesting there. Before we get to break, it's time for the IBA $1,000 cash contest. Keyword, text it to 508-777-1000 or head to theticketfm.com, click on Cash Blitz to enter. I'll give you guys a second to pull that up. Once again, 508-777-1000. Take it or head to theticketfm.com, click on Cash Blitz. Today's keyword, deal. D-E-A-L, deal. Remember, every keyword you enter is another chance to win. One lucky listener will take home $1,000 tomorrow around noon. Don't wait. Get that keyword in now. Once again, that keyword, deal. D-E-A-L.
Oh, Dad, appreciate you. You guys are like therapists today because we need it.
Well, I just think it's, I think, like, AD, you and I know about this. Like, there's so much, it's what we talked about. There's so much being spread online and misinformation and on message boards that we're not going to be able to reach all the Husker fans. But I feel like as our jobs, and not even just our show, the rest of the shows on the ticket and even elsewhere, like it's our job to provide factual context to it. Just to, once again, like not even teach people, because I'm not going to act like I'm the smartest one. I know everything about it, because I don't. But ultimately, if we can provide a little more factual context to these conversations, it's important. It's good for everybody.
And Nick, beautifully said. I'm going to say this. Anyone that you see on social media, particularly on X, if they don't allow you to make a comment on their post, probably don't know what the heck they're talking about. You know, I'm like, okay, if you're whatever that person outlet may be, if they don't allow you to make comments on there or to chime in, that's just someone just going off their own whim or whatever it may be. So, like I said, we're going to know a lot more in about 35, 40 minutes to Matt Rhule. And you may not know anything more. It may just be like, you know what? I'm choosing not going to answer that. We don't know how Coach Rhule is going to answer that right now. So it's going to be an interesting day. I think all the way from Alliance, Nebraska down to Pawnee City.
Yeah.
As far as
I think
goes.
Nationally too.
Nationally, exactly.
Yeah.
This is it's like a movie, New Jack City. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Nick. When Denzel, when Wesley Snipes go, I know DF listening. Oh, this is bigger than me.
Yeah.
Oh, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than Nebraska. This is a nationwide interest because there's nationwide outlets discussing it.
Yeah.
We'll be back. We're discussing more in our last segment. It's Drive.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out Renew PM, the ultimate nighttime recovery formula. Fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up refreshed. Renew PM can only be found at Nutrition Authority, the home of better than internet pricing. Own the night with Renew PM. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, slight chance of showers, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, probably sunny skies will be breezy. The high around 67. Tonight, a chance of showers, the low around 54. And tomorrow, a continued chance of scattered showers. Otherwise, cloudy skies with the high around 67. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships, one with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Join LES at 6 p.m. Thursday, October 9th at the LES Operations Center to learn about the utilities' proposed 2026 budget and electric rates and share your input at the annual public meeting. Learn more at les.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, folks, we are back. Nick, I cannot believe it's 10:55.
I know. Guess what? Bach and I get to do 11 to noon.
Yes.
So-
Yes. So, folks, you definitely want to
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned and listen, because during the time with Bach and Swim, the presser will be going on at 11:30. It's going to be a very interesting presser.
It will be. And okay, so Mississippi Mud Dog, and I appreciate this here, asks, any chance Dannon gives Rule a pay raise and extension to make it harder for Penn State? I would think part of any raise or extension would be raising the $5 million buyout. Other teams would have to pay. Right now, I think he's like making $8.5 million. That is correct. Bump that up to 10.5 or 11. Here's what I would say, Mississippi Mud Dog. So if you look at the structure of Matt Rule's contract, I mean, this is what I'll say. Matt Rule's agent did an incredible job from an agent and business side with the contract structure. Matt Rule's pay, he was on the cheap when he got here 3 years ago. However, it significantly goes up over the next couple of years. Like by 2030, which is the last year of his deal, I believe, I think he's making close to $12 million, if not over $12 million that year. So it increases. So that's where I don't know how you would restructure that, because guys, like $12.5 million puts him, if it was currently, puts him at top 5, top 10 in the country across all coaches in terms of pay. And I don't like, that's where Nebraska can't sacrifice money and standard to just keep a coach.
Yeah.
Like that's where Nebraska has to be very careful that they don't sell their soul here. And people might not like that. I'm not saying to let Matt Rule walk. That's not what I'm getting at. But what I would say, I just wonder where, like, how would Nebraska structure that? I think that's a great point, Mississippi Mud Dog. To that point, I was telling AD during the break, if Nebraska wants to squash this, and this is how you can read into these things. If Nebraska wants to squash this, and if Matt Rule, Troy Dannon collectively want to just get done with it, you announce it at 11:30. You announce it at 11:30. I'm not saying have Rule stand up there and go, oh, I'm not interested. I love Nebraska. I love Nebraska. I love what we're building here. I'm focused on this team. That's if they don't announce an extension, I view that as validity. As there's validity and there's interest and there's potential that he could be on the move.
Yeah, if you don't, I mean that's just common sense.
Yeah,
as far as that goes, if it's not dealt with and just simply saying, hey, I'm here. Because if something's not true unequivocally, you just say, hey, that's not true.
And,
I'm where I'm at.
And one thing we know about Matt Rule is he's very strategic, he's very pointed, and he's very intentional with every single thing he says. So the way, so the way that he phrases this will be very strategic, and it will. I imagine, if I'm being 100% realistic, I would imagine that it will provide a vote of confidence for Husker fans without fully squashing the idea that Penn State could be on the horizon.
Fully transparent here, Nick.
Absolutely. What's up?
I hate what it does for the ongoing part of the season, because it's always hovering over your head.
Sure.
That's
Absolutely.
the part I hate so much, because like I mentioned earlier, there's no way in Hades that as a player, you're not thinking about this in some shape or form.
And
You know, that's the part. But I understand. But you know what, Nick? I know it comes with the territory, but I hate it.
Here's what I would say. And C. Munden just texted this. Let's all pray Rule stays because there's not a coach that's a true program builder to replace him, and that's the kind of coach Nebraska needs. That is where I think it's different. 3 years ago when Rule got here, yes. Now I would evaluate Nebraska as after this season, they need a program elevator. Who is out there that I hate even having this conversation because Matt Rule is still the head coach. But hypothetically speaking, this job is in a better spot than it was 3 or 4 years ago. At that time, they needed a program builder. Now, if they're in this spot, the next step for Matt Rule is how can you elevate your program from 7-8 wins to now 10 wins, to now national championship contender. That is how I think that's what Nebraska needs, whether it's Rule or whether it's somebody else. That is what Rule needs to be, is a program elevator.
Folks, the 80 attitude adjustment is this. I don't have any. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Keep your enemies close. Otherwise, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah. Folks, the 80 attitude adjustment today is very simple, man. Be grateful for today. I was thinking about this morning on my way to the gym. I was walking, Nick, after Farrell's without any pain in my legs, just sore, but no pain. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. Once you've gone through chronic pain, man, you understand how grateful it is just to be able to walk. So, man, be grateful for today.
There you go.
Stick with Nick and Bach. They'll be on from 11 to 12. They'll be discussing a lot more of your texts of what's going on around the country, in particular here in Nebraska. Folks, this is The Drive. We'll ride with you tomorrow, 9 to 7 to 8.